Self-doubt doesn't come from confusion. It generally comes after clarity. And that's why it's so effective. Self-doubt is not the absence of knowing. It is the thing that kills knowing. And by the time self-doubt shows up, the body has already spoken. Self-doubt is often framed as humility, as thoughtfulness, as being careful or selective. But most of the time, that's not what it actually is. Oftentimes, self-doubt appears after the signal has already arrived. When the body already knows, because there's been a drop or a settling or a recognition. And then doubt creeps in. Not as a question, but as a withdrawal. And that's why self-doubt is so disorienting. Because it doesn't block clarity before it forms. It interrupts it after. There's an important distinction here. Because discernment is still listening. Discernment keeps the channel open. Self-doubt does not. Self-doubt says, I heard you, and I don't trust you. And that is the moment in which clarity collapses. Simply because it was not honored. Most people think self-doubt means, I don't know. But that is rarely actually true. Because self-doubt usually means, I know, and something in me believes it's safer not to stand there. And that something is not weakness. It is memory. Memory of what happened the last time you trusted yourself. Memory of consequences. Memory of being misunderstood, corrected, overridden, or left alone with the truth. So doubt becomes a strategy. Not to find truth, but to avoid exposure. Self-doubt is not a character flaw. It is a learned interruption. Because at one point, it kept you safe. It slowed you down. It softened your edges and made you more digestible. But safety strategies, they don't announce when they've expired. They just keep running, even when they start costing more than they protect. And this is why self-doubt feels so confusing. Because it doesn't feel like sabotage. It feels like responsibility. It feels like I should think more. I should wait. I should check myself. I should take calculated risk. But notice when those thoughts appear. Not before clarity, but after. After the body has already oriented. And that timing is important. Because self-doubt does not kill clarity by attacking it head on. It kills it by pulling you away from yourself quietly. By introducing distance, asking for delay, by reframing intuition as impulsivity, by mistaking aliveness for recklessness, and because it sounds reasonable. And all of those things are why we rarely question it. And at some point, this becomes a choice. Not a dramatic one. And it's not even a conscious declaration. It's just a subtle one. Do I stay with what I know? Or do I leave myself for a little more safety? Most of us weren't taught to recognize that moment. We were taught to doubt ourselves and call it maturity. I do not experience self-doubt as confusion anymore. I experience it as self-betrayal and as the exact moment that I step away from clarity. Not before. After. And that recognition really helped to align things into perspective for me. Because once you see that pattern, self-doubt loses its disguise. It stops sounding like wisdom, and it starts sounding like hesitation that arrived too late. And this isn't about eliminating doubt altogether. Doubt does have a place, but its place is before clarity, not after. So when doubt shows up after the body has already spoken, it's no longer discernment. It is interruption. Here's the power in this. You don't have to fight self-doubt. You don't have to heal it. You certainly don't have to analyze it to death. You just have to notice. Did this arrive before knowing or after? Self-doubt is not evil, but it is precise. And when it shows up after clarity, it is not protecting you. It's pulling you away from yourself. And that's why it works. That's why it's common. And that's why it deserves to be called out. Not as a wound, but as a clarity killer.